Welcome to this short overview of my third underwater photography talk, Underwater 3. And we start with the caverns and cenotes of Mexico. This was my first experience of cavern diving, and it really was a wonderful experience. A little claustrophobic for sure, but I pretty much got used to it pretty quickly, to be honest with you. You just don't have to think about it, do you? And off we went, exploring these caverns and surfacing in these cenotes in the middle of the jungle. In Underwater 3, I concentrate more on taking you behind the scenes, more about how I get the shots than just showing you the finished result. Because I think that's pretty important, isn't it? We all take literally hundreds of shots we throw away and just show people the best one. But I frankly find it fascinating to see how other people go about getting their shots. And I hope you will too. So there's certainly more of that in Underwater 3 than any of my other underwater talks. So here's the first little section, the caves and cenotes of Mexico. But no underwater talk of mine would be complete without a section on sharks. They're my favourite creature in the ocean and I love photographing them. But just as I've described, often what you don't see when you see the finished shot is understand what went on behind to get that shot. Because often there's a fair amount of setting up involved, and we use a bait box full of chopped fish bits and so on, and that attracts the sharks in. You don't see it in the shot, you just see the finished shot. And here is the finished shot, no sign of a bait box there, is there? And then on to a shoot completely different, but just to give you an example of the fact it doesn't always work. I went to try and photograph the wild trout in the middle of Bakewell in Derbyshire, and it looked fantastic from the surface. Look, you can see the trout really clearly. But I soon found out when I got in that visibility wasn't all that it appeared from the surface, and this particular shoot didn't go well. I mean, I didn't get any killer shots at the end of it. I got some shots, of course I did, but I got no killers. But hopefully you'll find it interesting to see what I experienced and how I went about it. And then it's back to my favourite creatures, the sharks. And this is the details behind probably one of the scariest shark shoots I ever did. I wanted to get some shots of sharks at sunset, and that of course is when they're most active. That's when they hunt the most. And so we set this shoot up, and I think I'd be right in saying this was probably the most dangerous shark shoot I've ever done. But it was exhilarating, and I did at least get my shot. This is going to be the story behind it. And then from one extreme to the other, to some really super friendly, cute and cuddly creatures, the sea lions of La Paz in Mexico. These were such friendly, inquisitive creatures. You would have been forgiven for thinking that they were actually, you were in a sea life sanctuary, because they were so friendly, so inquisitive. They'd swim up to me, they'd pull my hair hose, they'd pull my fins. Such friendly, inquisitive creatures. Without doubt, one of the most relaxing and enjoyable weeks diving and photography I ever did. Wonderful, wonderful creatures. And then hopefully my big trip for February 21 is to go and photograph the humpback whales in the Bahamas. So, COVID permitting, I hope I have some video and some still shots to show you of these majestic creatures. I really hope so. Thank you for listening.